Algorand has a prediction. Okay, what is up, guys? Welcome to the show. Hope everyone is doing great out there. And I don't know if I'm doing great, to be honest. It's not been the easiest time for crypto. Things looking a little bit up today, actually. So we're gonna talk about that. Lots to get to today. A lot of really weird stuff going on in the charts and the financial markets. Yeah, it's a tough time, and it's tough to make sense of all the stuff, but I hope everyone's doing well out there. Let me know. I put it in the chat, but Yeah, let me know where you're watching from today. I just like to I don't know, I like to know where people are coming from. I like to know where they're watching from, and you can take comments on X. You can take comments on X, on YouTube, and on Kick. Especially if you're watching on Kick, we need more activity there. So give me a view. And yeah, if any of you, if you have a Kick account, I'd really encourage you to watch it on Kick, just because I'm trying to grow that right now. So I'd really appreciate that. But yeah, and we got up to some good news. Some good news about the channel. Looks like Echo 17 says he's from Kansas City. Cool, very very cool. Actually, one of the first people, one of the very first people I interviewed on the channel was from Kansas City. So that's pretty neat. I'm not liking the color here, so let me see if I can yeah, that's no good. Okay, close enough. Yeah, it's really hard to get the color right sometimes, especially with changing lighting conditions. Yeah, the very first person I interviewed on this channel, who was making YouTube videos. I don't think he's really doing that anymore. Shelby, he was from Kansas City, and I believe he owns his own business out there. Bloopity Bloop says, "Sup BC from London, UK." All right, that must be an interesting place to live. I always wanted to go to England someday. I want to go to England. I used to be. I was really into Premier League for a while. I haven't really been watching much of it lately, but maybe I will again. That'd be interesting. Yeah, so throughout the stream, yeah, let me know where you're calling in from. Otherwise, some good news for the channel. We got to 5,600 subscribers. So yay for that. Let's get it to I want to get to 6,000 now. That's the next goal. Goal by the end of the year is 10,000. So that's where I want to get to. And we also had 750,000 views. Lifetime views, which is pretty good for this channel. I know for some people that's like, there's a lot of the channels I watch, you know, that's maybe like a monthly haul, but you know, I still think it's pretty cool. And thanks to all of you guys for watching. That still just kind of blows me away, to be honest. Yeah, so crypto in a really interesting place right now. This is really unprecedented. Now I've been through, and we'll talk about this when we get to the charts, but I've been through this is would be my third bull run if we actually have a bull run. And it's just so much different than it was those last two times. We just never had a situation like this. And I have some information on why that might be that we'll go through today. I don't know if it's going to be a super long stream. My car is in the shop right now, and it's going to cost quite a bit to get it back out of the shop. And also, I don't know when they're going to finish that. So, but I assume it'll be a while. So I don't think that stuff is quick. It was leaking oil, that kind of thing. Isaac Newton says, "How do I tell my life I lost our house on Algorand?" Well, I don't know. Maybe you should probably be wearing, like, I don't know if you were a baseball player and you played catcher. If you had all that gear, I would put all that gear on first. Like, I'd make sure you had your mask on and your little chest pad thing. The cup, very important thing. The cup, definitely. If you got the cup, I would definitely wear the cup, and definitely those shin pads, because you're probably gonna get kicked. So I would wear all the catcher gear, and if you don't have it, sell the rest of your algo and buy it, because you're in trouble, buddy. I hope you didn't really lose. I hope that's a joke. I hope you didn't really lose your house. Yeah, you know, in all seriousness, no, risk management is really important, and I know there's a lot of people in my audience that will actually. There's a lot of people in my audience that will go all in on crypto, and all their investments are in crypto. That is not the case for me. I have some crypto. I have a lot of index funds, boring old index funds, and I have links down below if you want to get into those. You really ought to. Right now, it's not looking so great, but overall, in the last 8 years, it's done really well for me. But I do think I'm going to go do a dollar cost average on Bitcoin. Isaac says, the house was ugly anyways. Well, uh, hopefully she felt that way. And if not, I would definitely make sure you got all the catcher gear on. Maybe the hockey, you can borrow some hockey pads. Like those are really thicker, they got those big giant shin pad things. You can block a lot of shots on those. Let's see, Vietvice, is that German? It says take it easy. Appreciate that. Echo says, are there any factual reasons at this point for the market dip across the board, or is it all just FUD with the current administration? I'm going to show you some stuff. Oh, he is from Vietvice. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. It says, greetings from Germany. Appreciate you watching from Germany. Awesome. And Cloudy Vibe says, sup fan, weekend should be bloody. I hope I want more algo. Yeah, well, we'll see. Anyway, yeah, actually, are there factual reasons for the market dip? And I'm going to say, first off, I'm going to say nobody can tell you that for sure. Everyone's going to have theories, and I have a theory. I have a new theory. And we're going to talk about that when we get to the markets, which should be, we should be doing that really soon. So it kind of depends on your strategy. Even my DeFi stuff has been not good, not good at all. And fortunately, my businesses are doing really well, especially my other business outside of the YouTube channel. So thank God, because any hope of crypto floating me is pretty much gone out the window, at least for now. Cody Dougherty says, I spent on algo, thought 25 cents was a great deal. Yeah, well, you can get it for 20 cents now. Yeah, well, a lot of us, the funny thing is when people talk about buying the dips, and I think we can talk a little bit about this. Buying the dips really kind of, whether you should or not, and anyone can decide. You can decide that for your own. You can do whatever strategy you want. But the problem with buying the dips is like, well, what's your average buy? So I bought a lot at 8 cents. That was like an all-time low. And so I stacked my bags, and I've bought dips that were higher than my average buy, and it kind of screwed me, actually. My portfolio would be better off if I had not bought that stuff. Now, some of it went up higher and I was able to sell off, so it worked out, but not all of it. So yeah, 25 cents, kind of depends whether it's a deal or not. Well, if you bought a lot, I knew someone who bought at over $2. Yeah. Fortunately, they bought more when it dipped, so they were able to lower their average buy, and I think that's a good path to profitability. Cloudy Vibe says, ran out of money, couldn't buy DA 1750. I have more money now and want that 17 cents. Yeah. Yeah, the dry powder is an important thing. I always keep dry powder on hand. So, that was part of it too. Like, people were, making fun of me for taking profits. And I'm like, yeah, it's a good thing. When you're up 2, 3, 4x, you should pull some off the table. It's called risk management. I think a lot of people in crypto don't practice risk management, and you really ought to. When you get gains, you got to pull some off the table, because like crypto's super volatile. So when you have gains, you got to pull it off. Caitlin Guzman says, saw there are Hedera futures on Coinbase now. Yeah, I saw that was coming. I didn't see it was live. I haven't checked. I haven't wanted to look at my Coinbase in a while. Yeah, I think it's been like almost 3 weeks, maybe more, since I actually updated my crypto spreadsheet. And then every time I do a video on it, people get mad because they're like, where's algo? And I'm like, well, algo, I don't buy and hold algo to sell. I buy it, I put it in DeFi, which used to be a good strategy. That's not been so great lately. Vietvice says, will be built at the end if we are lucky, November 2025. Yeah, no, so we got to see. We'll get into all that, the timing and everything, because there is a theory that, well, I think it's based on the lengthening cycles that we've seen, is that the cycles are going to get longer and more stretched out every cycle. There's also a theory that the cycles are over. The last one was a truncated one, and it was. You know, it went up to 69, fell back a bit, went back up to around 69. I'm talking about Bitcoin, and then just crashed again. So yeah, who knows? Isaac Newton says, kidding about the house. I love algo, 100K at 39-cent average. Yeah. So see, someone like Isaac, he could be right now. This is a buying opportunity for him because he can lower his average. He can bring it down even more. Cloudy Vibe says should have took profit when we hit 60 cents. Yeah. I mean, if you're in profit, it depends on depends on when you bought, you know. But I think a lot of people were in profit at 60 cents. That's probably why it didn't hold. There's probably a lot of people who are impatient this time because the bear market seemed really, really long this time for some reason. I don't know. It did for me, and I've heard other people say that. But also, the last two cycles, like I wasn't a content creator. I was invested in crypto, but I didn't pay attention to it that much. So, you know, it kind of gets to strategies, and maybe we can talk about like short-term versus long-term strategies or mid-term. This is Isaac says I'll hold for years if I have to. Now for some people that's what you're doing. And in fact, well, why don't we just get into the markets here? Oh, that didn't work. Hold on. Okay. So actually, you know, a good day today, right? I mean, you can see trending coins. You got Link leading the way here at up 12%. It was actually up like 14% when I checked just a little bit earlier. So Link actually is doing pretty well. Some other ones like Say, Rare, never heard of, IOST, I don't know. Yeah, some of these I just don't know. We're still in extreme fear territory, which I admit I wasn't paying super attention, but for a bull cycle, this seems strange. Because you look at Bitcoin's price, you know, and it didn't drop that much. Snail with groceries says, good to see everyone. What's up, Snail? Good to have you in the chat. See, now I know because you didn't change your name. Last time you changed your name on me and messed me up. But I recognize the photo, so. This is crazy. The fact that we're this low on the fear and greed index. This is the lowest we've been since before July. That's wild. And here's what's really crazy. Oh wait, this is Bitcoin price. What was I looking at? Yeah, I mean, look at how much higher the fear and greed index was when Bitcoin was in the 30s. You know, I was buying here, by the way. My average buy is like 33 on it. I think 33,000 was my average buy. And now that it's still like, you know, here 83, it's actually a little higher. It was actually like 84 or something like that. And fear on the fear and greed index is as low as possible. The lowest it's been since at least July 2023. That's wild. It wasn't even that bad. Probably, when was this? Yeah, I mean, this is pretty recent. This is like March. This is like a March phenomenon that the fear and greed index is that low. And apparently they've only been tracking this since July 2023. So you can't go back further. It'd be kind of interesting to see how it was over time, but. And then I like this indicator. I think this is a good indicator of the market health overall. And this is all time. Let's see. Yeah, so it's still down over the week, but up on the day quite a bit, up 5% on the day. So in other words, bad week, but you know, starting to get a little bit better. There was a storm this morning and now it's sun is shining. Kind of emblematic of the crypto markets today. So, well, let's go back and so let's look at Bitcoin a second, because I think after this bull run, I'm going to take on a new strategy. Yeah, so here's the all-time. So I went back and looked at how the S&P was doing in all this time, in these past two bull runs, and even this one to an extent. Now, this was a much shorter one. Yeah. So Isaac Newton says, problem is we are too correlated with the stock market. Spot on with what I'm about to talk about, because here, you know, which I was not invested in. I wish I was. Can you imagine, dude? You could have bought, if you had like $8,000 back in, you would have thought. I remember seeing it. Listen, I was paying attention to Bitcoin. I mean, it goes back before this. I remember when it was like 100 Bitcoin to $1 or something like that. It was really low, and the thing is, it was really hard to buy Bitcoin. It was not easy. You had to there wasn't like a good internet process. You kind of had to like take out a money order and send it to some rando and hope you got your Bitcoin. I don't know. I was never satisfied. That's why I didn't invest early on. It just wasn't really easy to get Bitcoin. But one thing that they had in this range, there were faucets where you could get Bitcoin for like, you could get like, just to fill it, you do some little game or something, and you get like 0.01 Bitcoin, which at the time was like a fraction of a penny. And I don't know where that wallet is, but it probably has like a few $1,000s worth of Bitcoin at this point. It's crazy, you know? But, you know, the thing is like, so this is what I tell people when people say like, oh, I wish I bought Bitcoin back here. It's like, well, you probably wouldn't have, because it was really hard. And even if you did, you probably would have lost your wallet address, because when it was at this price, most people didn't take it that seriously. And, you know, every time it went up, I thought, oh, well, that's probably the end of that. And then it wasn't. So anyway, here and here, I remember this one. I was here for this one. I was buying right around here. And then right around here, I went, oh, well, that's crazy. I better sell that stuff off. That's going to crash down. And it did, but it didn't crash as far. And then I bought here, had this one. So here, and here, the stock market was doing really, really, really well. Like really good. Okay. Here, the stock market is not doing well. Stock market has crashed. But that was pretty recently, so. But most people thought February, March. There were two theories, and I had two theories as well. One, that it was going to fall last time, so alts were going to really pop off around February, which is what happened last time. It was like late January, early February. Or the other theory is with the delayed cycles, that it's lengthening cycles every time, that maybe it would be more like April, which is still possible. But we haven't seen a bull run with like really negative market sentiment. So getting to what Isaac said, that we're too correlated with the stock market, it's true. I mean, I'm not necessarily endorsing too correlated or making that judgment, although I don't have a problem with it either. But what I'm saying, it doesn't matter. It just is, right? So I care about what is, not what ought to be. And it seems like bull runs maybe are not possible, or at least impacted, when the overall market conditions go down. And if you think about it, it makes sense, because then people don't have as much money to invest, and they're less likely to go, oh my God, it's going up, I got to catch this. Let's get into the latest thing. Snail says yes for BTC correlation, no for Bitcoin correlation. BSV is Bitcoin. BTC is BlackRock and other institutions that change the code. That's why it follows liquidity cycles in M2. And it does follow M2. All started at the Bitcoin fork. Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. I think, but those institutions weren't as into it back here. And as far as I know, it has been correlated with that for a long time. So I don't know, but yeah. So usually an increase in monetary supply leads to inflation. And by the way, I learned, I recently read, or I haven't quite finished it yet, but I'm reading this book on Milton Friedman, and he was a big advocate for monetary policy, which kind of got adopted in the Reagan administration, and that's when really we hadn't seen inflation. Inflation was like barely a concern for 40 years, but up to prior to that, it was a big. Well, okay, we'll get to that. prior to that, inflation was like a big concern, and it was something people constantly worried about. And Milton Friedman, like he spent most of his time writing columns and influencing the people who ran the Fed versus actually he was never like the Fed chair or anything, which is kind of crazy because he was probably the smartest one of the lot, and a lot of them listened to him. Yeah, I mean, it might be right on the. So, like I said, yeah, maybe you're right on the fork. I haven't looked that much into it. But anyway, so I learned from that Milton Friedman book, I learned what M1 and M2 is. So M1 is circulating supply of money and checking accounts. M2 is the same thing, but it adds savings accounts, which is significant because a lot of people keep a lot of money in savings accounts. Not everyone, but some do. And it's still money that people can access, but they can't access it as readily as checking accounts. So anyway, I think I think Isaac made a good point that there's correlation with the stock market, but like correlation, you have to be careful when we say correlation because like we didn't see these huge spikes in the stock market, but it was favorable. I guess my point is it was favorable conditions. And right now, conditions are not favorable, if that makes sense. Well, let's go back through and see what else we got here. Things are really recovering today. Bitcoin having a really good recovery. Ethereum's still under 2,000. I mean, we got to look at this because I know I got too many things up. I mean, this isn't very exciting. When did we have this? 4,000. When were we up there? It was like December. Yeah, December we're up to 4,000, now down to 2,000. And I'll be honest, like I didn't take any profits on Ethereum. I probably should have. Yeah, I definitely should have. All my Ethereum is on my Algorand account, so that's kind of why. But I also don't think we're going to see a lot of coins do this anymore. There's just too many options. There's like something like I heard a stat. I think it was something like there's like 1 million new coins a day. I guess that's what decentralization is, but like, do we really need it? And this is interesting. You know, here's what's interesting is that the recovery has not been even. Some stuff's gone down. Solana went down. Man, I'm really glad I took profits on Solana. I mean, I hope we still have bull run left. I see even the most bullish voices I see are even the most bullish ones people I see are starting to have their doubts. But it's crazy, yeah. So Pi, I told the story about Pi in my last one, and apparently I just looked into like transferring all my Pi to mainnet, and it's like a really complicated process. Always got to be something like that, doesn't it? Chainlink at around 13%. So yeah, like I said, Chainlink's doing really well. Sui's actually recovering really well too. Hedera, not bad, a little under 5 cents, still under 20 cents. Avalanche, yeah, what else is yeah, I mean it's really kind of all over the place. Yeah, like Polkadot. I always forget about Polkadot. No one ever talks about it anymore, it seems like. Something called Hyperliquid is up 14%. I've seen that one before. Yeah, Near's popping back up. So like Near, I took profits at like, didn't I take profits at like $7 or $8 or something? Or is that where my new buy order or sell order is? Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's 21. Hold on. Where are we? Well, wait a minute. I did year and it's going. Oh, no. Okay. Sometimes I get confused the way this is. Yeah, this was like early April. I forgot it was up this high. Hold on. We got to see. Yeah, all my buying with Near was like in this territory. I think it was like $1.21 or something. And it was up to like $8. So I definitely took some profit on that. El Mysterioso says, can't hang today. I'll be back later. Have a fab weekend all. Hey, thanks for watching. He says, so Snail says, I'll just save in real money, algo. I'll leave the other ones alone. I still think Bitcoin is probably a good. Listen, I love Algorand. I do plenty of stuff in Algorand. I think Bitcoin is a good inflation hedge. And it'll probably be the top inflation hedge for a while. But that's just me. By the way, I do have my Algorand shirt on today. This is one of the one. This is the one that Michael Jordan unofficially sent me because it's not an official Algorand Foundation merchandise. It's got made in the USA on the back. So it's an interesting time for crypto, and I gotta admit, it's kind of hard to be excited about it right now. Yeah, the stupid Trump coin is up 16%. I'm sorry, I can't stand. I thought it was the stupidest move to launch a meme coin when you're trying to get people to take crypto seriously. Yeah, I was not wild about that. I noticed we haven't really had a lot of celebrity meme coins, especially since the Javier Milei one went down in flames. You know, I was very interested in his libertarian experiment, and I hate to say it, I'm almost glad that he had this. I'd rather it was someone else besides him, but I'm glad someone crashed and burned so badly on this meme coin. And I think Haley probably contributed to that too, that just no one's going to want to do one for a while. It should stay that way. Yeah, so Algorand up over 20 cents now. We were down into the 19-cent territory. So, and it's actually a little bit higher priced than Hedera right now. Hedera had actually overtaken it for a while. We'll go more deep on. I'll tell you guys about my really stupid trade that I made. Cosmos. Actually, I might. Well, not right now, but I could be getting close to being back up. Cosmos around 10. Arbitrum around 10. Yeah, it's funny because you look at some of these coins and you're like, oh, these are. Oh, there's XDC. Where's Bobby Jonas? Where's my XDC troll? You guys, I think some of you longtime viewers know that I have a guy named Bobby who's always in my chat talking about XDC, and he always dunks on Algorand, always clowns on Algorand, and we have some fun back and forths. I can talk. Where's Bobby? Is Bobby watching? Come on forward, Bobby. Get in the chat. I want to hear what you got to say about XDC. He'll probably come afterwards. I think he watches on replay. Yeah, Flare, Theta. I mean, I just... Gala below 2 cents. That's really bad. That's really bad. I mean, that might look good, but this is how it's done over a year. I mean, even at the worst part, it was usually like right around 2 cents, and it's gone even lower than that. Yeah, I remember when I was up here, everyone was like, "Ooh, you feel bad making that Gala video?" I'm like, "Nope," and this is why. Let's see. This chat's hilarious. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it over. Gala is leading the blockchain gaming revolution by offering a decentralized ecosystem that puts players at the center of the experience. No, it freaking doesn't. Oh my God. It enables true ownership. No, actually, it doesn't. Actually, it does. It's done the opposite. It's done the freaking opposite. Rich B, welcome to the show. Thanks for watching. We'll get to more algo stuff in a minute. Dude, Gala has been the biggest joke in all of crypto. I'm sorry. You know, the founders are suing each other. Most of the game companies are suing each other. Dude, you get these games. Yeah, they put forward these games, and the games were just an excuse to sell like vastly overpriced NFTs. And then what happens to those NFTs? Well, they'll just nerf them when they don't feel like it works out anymore the way they want. And then you have the head of Gala going, or the CEO of Gala, or the president of Gala, or whatever, Bitbender, going around to all these podcasts and saying, yeah, well, oh, we had to turn the earn off from Gala, from Townstar, and well, you weren't supposed to have to care about that anyway. Just, you're just supposed to play the game. Oh, so people are spending $1,000 NFTs, tens of thousands of dollars on NFTs for the fun of it? Are you kidding me? Of course they want to earn. That's the whole point. There's an ROI element involved. And if not, what do we need? What do we need you for? You can just play regular games, Honestly, Gala like did the most to turn me off to Web3. It completely changed my opinion on Web3 games. Completely changed my opinion on Web3 games, because prior to this, prior to that, I thought gaming was like the perfect venue for NFTs, because I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Everyone has bought digital properties and had them just disappear. And so if they could just be NFTs, well, that's great. That's a great idea, right? Well, now I really own it. It's like, yeah, you can own it, but that doesn't do anything to prevent the company from just completely nerfing the NFT. So what do you own? I mean, yeah, you still own it. Great. That's like saying, oh, I own my car, but the government could just like shut down all the roads whenever it wants. Or it can just make it so my car doesn't work on the roads. Like, you know what I mean? Like it really is that bad. And that's exactly what they did. I think, and how many of their games, by the way, how many of their games are in beta? Like most of them. Yeah. So we have like in Warlord on the channel every once in a while to make fun of Gala, and he's been keeping up. I used to do videos on Gala, and I can't do it anymore. Now I will say, let's see, Snail says, I love gaming, no more hints. Cloudy Vibe says, yeah, Algorand is my savings account too. LOL, can't wait for MasterCard. I am very excited about that. I'll talk about that more in a bit. Yeah, so I used to keep up with Gala. I used to make content about it, and then I just gave up. I'm just like, I don't want to even cover this anymore. So every once in a while, like I kind of scratch that itch by just having Like and Warlord on, and he's a lot of fun. He brings the heat, which I like. Yeah, gets people riled up. I will say though, there's a couple games on Algorand. I especially like Astro Explorer, and I think that's the best model. And then I've been wanting to try the Ghetto Pigeons game as well. I think that model makes sense. It's just like buy an NFT and it gets you access to this game. Yeah, great. And then if you want to buy two, you get to play twice as much, basically. That makes sense. I think that makes sense. So anyway, that's my little Gala rant for today. I've heard people like when I rant. EOS is still around, man. That's wild. Let me just check out, make sure yeah, it looks like my car's not ready yet. Okay, Gala. Wow, the Sandbox is up here. I like Tezos, a real blast from the past. I actually had Tezos back in the day. I had a lot of Tezos. Sandbox. Yeah, I remember this whole metaverse thing that was going to be huge, and all the celebrities were buying property in the metaverse, and then I don't hear anybody talk about that anymore. And so it's interesting that the game token is here, the sand from the Sandbox. What was the other one? There was another one. You guys know? Let me know in the chat. I'm just seeing like if anything is Ethereum name service. I got a name for you. How about broken? How about gas fees too high? How's that for a name? Yeah, Floki. Now Floki is interesting because Floki just got delisted on Coinbase, which I thought was kind of interesting, because that kind of surprised me. I didn't think, because they just listed some like random meme coin too. So like I don't really understand their maybe there's something going on with Floki that I don't know about. Oh yeah, that was the other one. Mana from Decentraland. Yeah, I never hear about these anymore. Oh man, I really got screwed on Helium. I'll tell you about that. Let's pull this up. Yeah, I think this is a good thing to talk about. Yeah, it's been down a lot, and that really hurt me this week because okay, so let's see what the month here is here. Yeah, down on the month. So I've been using Helium Mobile, which is a Solana based like phone service basically, and it's like $20 a month for unlimited service, which is limited talk and text and like 30 gigs of data. And then supposedly after that, it just downgrades. Now they have some new plans, so I don't know if that legacy plan is available anymore. I think I'm grandfathered into it, but the new plans look pretty good too, from what I saw. I actually think the $20 plan, the new $20 plan would definitely work for me, but I'm glad I'm on the unlimited. So this is very good, and one of the features is that you can help map their network, and if you help map their network, you earn crypto. It used to be mobile, now they switched over to Helium, and then you can use that crypto to pay your bill. So like for a long time, I was hardly paying a cell phone bill; it was mostly free. And when they changed to Helium, I noticed they also made it harder. Like some days it just doesn't seem to work. And I've heard people say you have to like reset it every day. So I just reset it when it's not working. But yes, ever since they switched to Helium, I'm not making as much, and the Helium price dropped a lot. So like it's like two months in a row I actually had to pay my cell bill instead of having it for free, but it's still like $20. So that's really affordable compared to like if you're gonna go to Sprint or T-Mobile or whatever and get a phone plan. Now you have to bring your own phone, so you do have the expense of the phone. It's something to keep in mind. But even if you amortize, unless you bought a really expensive phone, like the brandest newest one, I don't need that. They're all the same. They're not that much better. Let's be honest about Apple, and I mostly use Apple. I haven't switched. I have a PC now, but I'm still on the iPhone. I'm using an iPhone 8. It works fine. It does everything I need it to do. Like, how much better is it going to get? Like, they make it slightly better every year, ever so slightly better, and they don't want to charge you hundreds of dollars more. It's crazy. It's a racket. Where was I? So yeah, so there's that. But even if you get like a $200 phone off of Amazon, and you amortize that over the course of a year or two, however long you're going to keep that phone, maybe more. I think I bought my iPhone 8. Oh yeah, I bought my new iPhone 8 in 2021 when I dropped my other one in the drink and in Miami. Phone went swimming with me. Turns out phones do not like swimming, and they get mad and they don't work anymore. So I had to get a brand new phone then. But I had an 8 and I got a new 8. So today I'd probably get like a 10 or something. I don't know. I'd have to look at what they cost, but it's still a pretty good deal. I have video reviews if you want to see more on my channel, so you can go watch that later, or go bookmark those or whatever. Isaac says Verizon is a ripoff for me. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, even if you don't do the crypto thing, like there's stuff like Mint Mobile that are like way more affordable, and like the service, it's the same service. So yeah, I'm a big fan. But yeah, I've been a pretty big fan. Ooh, I forgot to move this back. Forgot to move that back. Sorry. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Helium Mobile. I think it works good. The setup is horrendous. Like it in the early days, yeah, it's really bad. So it's I hope they've improved it. That was like 8 months ago, I think, that I signed up for it. I actually had to go without a phone for a week because like the stuff wasn't very well explained. And I had to have when I did finally get the SIM card, I basically had to go on the customer service and have the guy fix it. And he fixed it. He wasn't very friendly. It was on chat, so I don't know, who cares. RIP phone. Yeah, it was not a good day. Well, I had it in my back pocket in my swim trunks, and I went into the ocean and came back out, and then I couldn't find my phone, and I was like, "Oh, I bet I had it in my pocket." And actually, the funny thing is, I swam back out into the ocean and I found it on the ocean floor in probably about 6 feet of water, maybe a little less. No, probably like 5 feet. I was able to stand. And so I fished it out, and what I should have done, I shouldn't have I tried to turn it on, and it actually did turn on, but it didn't work very well, and then it got worse until it just stopped working. I learned later I should have just not touched it until it dried out, and then I might have been able to save it, but yeah, $200 lesson. Anyway, that's helium. We're really going on Axie Infinity. Wow, Axie Infinity. Look at Dog with Hat, dude. I made the dumbest buy on Dog with Hat. I just put $50 in it, but it was 2 something, and now it's 50 cents. But this is crazy. Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity is another good example of, dude, there were people who were doing, they would sponsor people in the Philippines to play this game. And it would cost you about $1,000 to get started. To get the little critters to earn on the game, you had to spend about that much. So it's a really harsh startup cost. And then there were people, people would have they'd pay people in the Philippines to, or they'd kind of the people would buy the critters, and then they would have the Philippines people play them, and then they would take a cut. So yeah, it was weird. Well, speaking of, actually, we're going to go to the Algorand stuff, but actually, I thought this was interesting. Trump predicts economic surge, markets react. The President Donald Trump has declared that the U.S. economy will experience an unprecedented boom. This statement has led to a mix of reactions across financial markets, with some social media posts and users interpreting it as a bullish signal for cryptocurrencies and stocks, while others reflect skepticism or highlight market fluctuations, possibly linked to his economic policies. Yeah, so and we saw this with crypto. Actually, crypto did pretty well today after Trump says the economy will boom. And I will say, he might not be wrong about this. What was interesting during the Reagan years is the first couple of years were pretty rough. Yeah, they were pretty bad, and everyone was kind of, well, maybe about a year and a half into it, things were pretty rough. Inflation actually increased; it spiked dramatically, and then all of a sudden, just as easily, it came back down. So he might not be wrong. So that's what that's doing. I wonder what the that's up today. It's up almost 2% today. So it's still down on the 5-day, but it's actually popping back up. So how are we year to date? Yeah, pretty bad. We're at 56.18, and we started the year at 58.68. Yeah, we were doing really well, and it just came crashing down. That's really too bad. But it looks like everybody, it's kind of funny that everybody seems bullish on Trump saying, yep, markets are going to go up. We'll see if it lasts. But I think that's kind of interesting. Yeah, so here's what the Algorand market looks like. Remember this? That was fun. That was fun. We can go further back and see the really fun stuff, but I want to show you something for, oh yeah, hold on. Not the bars, not the bands. We're actually at the top. That's interesting. So I thought I was real sharp, and I thought I had a good trade here, and it kind of went sideways. Was it back here? When was it? Let me find it. Hold on. Just give me a second here. While I'm looking for this, just want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Non-Fungible Domains. Yeah, guys, if you want that .algo address that makes doing things in crypto so much easier, check out Non-Fungible Domains. We're on the thing here. They've got vaults and segments, all that good stuff. And yeah, if you want mine's frugalbc.algo. It works really, really well. People can just send you stuff easily. It's just so much easier than remembering those letters and numbers. So big shout out to Non-Fungible Domains, and also big shout out to Marcus Aurelius. They are a meme coin and NFT project on the Algorand blockchain, and you can check them out. Their Telegram group is linked down below, as is our non-fungible domains info. And they're kind of like the little Stoic army. They're spreading the word about Stoicism through memes, which I like. I'm a big fan of Stoicism. It's definitely helped me through some difficult times in life. So go check them out. Good stuff. I love the guys behind these two projects. That's a big part of it. All right, so let's get to this. This was the 9th, yeah. So the 9th was right here. It's probably right around here. It was right at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, and RSI was about as low as you can get. And I thought, hey, it's probably going to spike, which it usually does, and it did a little bit. Then it fell back more. So sometimes it doesn't quite work out the way you hope. Sometimes when it's at that very bottom, it just kind of runs sideways, or sometimes it kind of depends where it is, though. It usually does pop up a little bit, but it was emphasis on the little bit. So I'm still down. I'm still backwards on this trade, but we're kind of getting close. Yeah, it's actually must have been here. Because what can happen sometimes, it can kind of ride the bottom of the Bollinger Band, unfortunately. So anyway, yeah, so what I said is update, this went badly, and this was on the 13th. It did bounce out the Bollinger Band for like a hot second before crashing further. So yeah, you just never know. And I just did this as a oops, wrong one. I just did this as a kind of an experiment. I put like 200 algo, swapped some USDC for 200 algo, and then I was gonna flip it around. We'll see. I'm sure it'll go back up. We're actually not really that far under my trade, so we might even hit it today. Who knows? It's a really narrow Bollinger Band, though, and the RSI isn't where it was before. So yeah, we'll see. What else we got going on here? Let's see. Isaac Noon says hopeful, but we desperately need to balance our budget and create a plan to lower our debt. Yeah, no, 100%. And that's what that was something that Reagan worked on, and then Clinton balanced the budget. It was the last time we had a balanced budget was under Clinton, which is wild. I think if Democrats want to get back into power, they should probably look to someone like Bill Clinton, with some updates. But I mean, I don't want to get too much into politics. It comes from a place of analysis, not necessarily I like this one, don't like that one. I think Democrats, if they want to turn it around, they have to go to more normie opinions. They have to stop letting the extreme of their party dictate things. I don't really see that as much on the right now. I have in the past, but not the Tea Party was probably the last example, and I think it cost them a lot of elections, to be honest. And I think the left, the more extreme, we used to call them tankies, like the more extreme left people. I think they're costing the Democrats right now. That stuff changes, it always seems like, oh, this is the way it is now. It's like, yeah, it'll change. Yeah, Tiny. So this is not good for me, because Tiny is a big part of my. Oops, that's like kind of weird, huh? Tiny is a big part of my DeFi strategy, so it going down this much, not helpful. Not helpful. Yeah, look at that crash. Yeah, when it was up here, it was all fine and dandy. It has generally stayed above 2.5 cents, I will say, and I've pointed that out before. But it's of course it's been higher, but it does tend to stay there. But yeah, my percentage it's down to like a couple bucks a day. That's a bummer. Snail says, don't stress, friends. This is all part of the plan. $1 is going to happen in a blink of an eye. Hopefully. We're in a very unusual situation. Now, Gora is doing really well on the week, up 9%, or on the day, actually, and the week. Yeah, that's really good. That's a good, it's a nice little pump from them. I still don't 100% understand what they do. I look at Alpha Arcade. We should go look at Alpha Arcade. Well, that is a really steady chart. This is not a typical ASA. Now, we did have that little spike here, but I don't know that I've ever seen, and we're on the daily, I don't know if I've ever seen an ASA chart that looked like this. It's just almost flat. I mean, relatively speaking, usually you see them go way up and way down and kind of like fall off, or they go up, down, and then maybe middle a little bit. This one, just flat as a pancake, just about by comparison. That's crazy. I mean, that's a really tight range. That's a really tight range. Yeah, that's less than a penny in range. Huh? Something. That's something. Alpha Arcade's pretty neat. Should we go check that out? Oh, they got a lot of stuff on here now. There's a U.S. government shutdown this year, so that's a long time frame. You can pick the winner of the March Madness. You can pick whether gold will hit 3% per year. Algorand price on March 31st. Most people say it'll be between 21 cents and 25 cents. What do you think? Very few people think it'll be above 25 cents. That's really interesting. Will the US leave NATO by June 30th? Not too many people think that. Champions League winner, will it be Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, or Real Madrid? Recession, getting 49% for a recession. That's something. Snail says, just looked at their site for the first time earlier. Looks very usable. That's cool. Well, yeah, I think it looks really neat. I haven't played around with it. There's even one for Solana failures. So I wonder what makes it, because I don't see Solana on here. So is this like this is some of the more popular ones, I guess? Let's look. Yeah, just the one. Will Solana experience an outage by April 20th? And most people are saying no. I can see why they'd make that bet. I'd say the odds are against it, but it doesn't mean it won't happen. So you could probably make some money. There's geopolitics. There's straight up crypto. Will Bitcoin hit 120? Most people are saying yes. It's funny, and I don't know. Snail says might create an LP. Yeah, might not be a bad one. I mean, I would want to see more time data on it, but that's a really solid chart and very different than anything I've seen. That's just more steady than anything I've seen. There's no huge spikes and no huge dips. Recent activity. I got one for Maryland, no for Michigan. So you can buy the no too, which is kind of fun. No for Kentucky. Well, let me go to the winner. So you can buy yes or no on just all of these. Wisconsin's not even in there. Sheesh. I wonder why it doesn't have all of them. Like, are these the favorites? I'm if I pay attention to college basketball, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Hey, welcome from Cape Cod, my friend. Welcome, Kyle. Yeah, I've noticed I don't think I'm as popular on Twitter right now. I think Twitter, yeah, it was interesting. I got another hate speech flag. So I don't know if I even talked about this on stream. I've now gotten, in the last, yeah, probably 2 or 3 months, I've got 2 tweets or posts or whatever flagged for hate speech. And it's crazy because one was about crypto. And so I talked about people cheating a coin, in other words, pulling their coin out, the and it said it was hate speech. It doesn't tell you what it is, but I did a little digging, and there's like a really esoteric slur against Indian people. That's Jeet, and I'm like, okay, you know, and I actually appealed it. The funny thing is, I appealed it, and I said, like, I was talking about crypto. I don't even know what could possibly be hate speech here. And they just they denied the appeal, but they never give you an explanation. I'm like, you know, if I did say something wrong, like, I'd want to know. So like, how does that help me? How does that prevent something from happening in the future, right? I mean, it's just kind of crazy. And then the second one, so I'm a mutual follow of Heidi Briones, who's like, she kind of came to prominence by being a lesbian supporter of Trump. And recently, like, she posted a video with her wife on their wedding day, and like a bunch of conservative Christians got really bent out of shape. And I defended her on the tweet. I said, like, yeah, I don't even know what I said. Like, yeah, what does a guy expect you to do? Just change your orientation? Like, what? I don't get it. And they flagged that as hate speech. And I'm like, dude, I'm standing up for a lesbian. How is that? How is that hate speech? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. It's whatever, you know. I just noticed, like, yeah, I noticed, like, instead of hundreds of people on stream on X, which I usually get, it's much lower. So that's interesting. And then, yeah, I've noticed a lot of my tweets aren't getting as much traction. My overall, everything is like kind of down. So whatever. I mean, I don't think I was going to get monetized anyway on Twitter. Like, it just didn't seem like, it seemed like a tough thing to do. So whatever, it is what it is. It's whatever, as the kids say. This looks like a lot of fun. What are the rewards? Oh, this is just what people are earning. Wait, what? Earn rewards by placing orders near the current midpoint. Rewards are distributed directly to wallets. Oh, that's strange. So you just get money if you place it near the midpoint? I don't understand that. That's... Any of you guys use this? What's the learn say? Do you have to have their coin to do that? What? I don't understand. Prediction markets, yeah, just explains what the prediction market is. Yes, shares trade at 75 cents. No shares must trade at. This means the market estimate. When the event resolves, winning shares are worth $1, losing shares worth 0. Oh, that makes sense. How trading works, market limit orders, two best ways to trade on a platform, execute immediately at the best available price, or you can set a limit. Oh, so like someone else has to take the opposite? Is that the deal? I've never used one of these. Michael Orr says, apologies for not knowing this, but are these live chats scheduled regularly? Yeah, pretty much Friday at 12. Usually around 12:15 or 12:30 Central Standard Time, I go live, if that's what you're asking. Thanks for watching, Michael. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, pretty much every Friday. And sometimes I can, if I do them through OBS, it's not as easy to schedule. So I just kind of go live. But if, usually if I have a guest, then I go through Restream instead of OBS, which the video doesn't look as good, but it's much easier to bring in a guest. I tried doing the Video Ninja thing or whatever. Man, it just doesn't work. I tried it. It's such a pain in the butt. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, unfortunately, Sewell came on and tried it out for me, and I felt bad because like he just couldn't come on because we couldn't get it to work. So anyway, yeah, I'm trying to figure this out. Connect your wallet. Yeah, okay. Market making. Market makers are traders who provide liquidity by placing orders on both sides of the market. They profit from the spread between the buy and sell prices while making it easier for other to trade. So this is probably, I'll tell you what, Orlando, Algorand Algo says, hello everyone, welcome to the show. Thanks for watching from X. Nice to get some comments from X. And hey, if you're watching on Kick, leave us a comment there too. We're actually on Kick, X, and YouTube. Kick is a really hard nut to crack. It's probably because I don't live stream that much. Maybe I should. I was going to go to 2 days a week, and I haven't yet. Michael R says, I missed the answer to the topic. Are we all going to be filthy rich next week? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that. Not from crypto going up, I don't think, but who knows? Maybe. Trump says it is, so I mean, you know, that maybe that means it will. I don't know. Oh yeah. So this is I think the key here, because I've told you guys this before. I've said this before. One of the best ways to make money in crypto or anything really, don't chase the gold rush. Be the one selling shovels. And what that means is back during the gold rush era, there were a lot of people would read in the paper about all this gold that was being found. And it was kind of crazy because, it'd take them like 2-3 years to get to the site. So they were going on. And then by the time the information came back to them in the first place and they read it in the newspaper, it was probably 6 months old anyway, maybe even more. So they were operating on really old information and trying to go find this gold. And usually they had to change plans because you'd go hear about a place. By the time you got there, it was long over. But then, they'd be like, well, I heard there's might be gold up in this area. And then they go to that. That's if you made it, by the way. That's if you make it. I see a typo, by the way. Algorand.algo says Johnny Bush in on the Klondike. It's one of my favorite periods to read about. Actually, if you want a long, thick book that's fun to read, but also long, James Michener's Alaska is a really good book. It's weird too, because he had a really different style. It was like, I would call it like, it reads like fiction. There's some fiction elements, but then a lot of it's like historically based. Really good book anyway. So anyway, so these people would, tons of people went up to do the gold rush, but then some of the smart people sold supplies, and they'd sell supplies in Seattle even, or even in Alaska. And they did pretty well. So they wouldn't like go chasing the gold. They just sell supplies to the people that were going to chase the gold. I think that's pretty smart. And you can do that here. If you're a liquidity provider, or here you can be a market maker. But even on Tiny Man, let's pull that up a minute. Okay, so this is like 2 days worth. That's not bad. That's getting better. Yeah, we got about 300 tiny. So it's about 150 some. Okay, so that's going up. That's good. And then this is the number, $73. This is about a week's worth, I think, thereabouts, maybe 2 weeks. So that's just money I'm earning that's just sitting there, That's when people trade between T algo and algo. That's money that I'm making right there. And then, yeah, about $5 a day for nothing, for just providing liquidity. So, sell shovels, right? Then you don't have to wait for the pump. The pump's just a bonus. That's what I think. So, yeah, I might look into this, but I got to understand it more. They got a video, it looks like. Should we watch the video? You guys hear this?
Making your first prediction on Alpha Arcade? Find a market outcome you want to buy. These are typically yes or no positions. If the yes position is at 60 cents, that means the market estimates a 60% chance of this event happening. If the outcome is correct, you'll receive $1 per share. Enter the amount you'd like to buy, then click Submit. You can find your held positions in your portfolio. You can sell your position anytime. For example, if the yes position rises to 70 cents, you can sell your 60-cent share for 70 cents, locking in a profit. Let's say you'd like to close or sell your position before the outcome resolves. Click Sell, then click Max for your full position amount. And finally click Submit.
That's pretty neat. I don't want to hear myself talk. Okay. So I think, okay. Looks like you gotta have USDC. And is this available for everyone? Mike Orr says, awesome to see nodes are almost 6K. Wow. That's a big change. Let me look that up a second. I think this shows me, doesn't it? Is it node telemetry? Oh, no way. Yeah, 5,822 nodes. And that's behind too. Because that's not even today yet. That's something. Oh, you guys can't see. Hold on. Why is it so far behind? How come they don't have updated? Shouldn't that be in real time? Let me see. Hold on a second. That's a lot, though. Let me see if there's another one. That was Nodely. Hey, this is really interesting, by the way. Look what comes up. Pull it back here. I put Algorand nodes, and this is what comes up. Look whose video. Look whose video comes up. That was from 6 months ago. Otherwise, yeah, I don't see any other ones. Algorand's centralized point of failure explained relay nodes. We will discuss the current state of Algorand's relay and participation node structure and explain how it is centralized and why that's bad. And that's Algonaut. I haven't heard from that guy in a really long time. I don't know what happened to him. But this is something the foundation was concerned about. He's not wrong, or he wasn't wrong, because back when he wrote this in 2022, there were like 150 nodes or something like that. Like, people just were not doing it because there was no like incentive to do so. Why would you? People do things because of incentives. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I gotta stop going to my email. And then, yeah, look, these are really old. A month ago, 4,200. Now we're at almost 6,000. This one's from 5 days ago, 5,000 plus nodes. Someone's got to be talking about it. Hold on. This is from Algorand developers. Total count of 5,800. It's more than, I think it's more than that now. Just trying to see if there's anything that's old. We'll go latest, see if that brings anything up. Yeah, I guess it's just this one. Yeah. So they put like other total count of 5,800, and that data looked out of date too. So I think it's probably even more. This is 15 hours ago. 5822. Crazy, man. Everyday Algorand is here. He says, everybody smash the like button if you like the new decentralized architecture the Algorand Foundation is working on. I love it. It's just writing scripts for me to get some. Yeah, do hit the like button. What are we at anyway? Yeah, share this on X too. You can send that message to X. If you're on X, if you're watching on X, say, hey, hit the like button because you show X, hey, you got to show this to more people. Hold on a second. How many likes do we have? That's 16 likes. We can do it. We can get more than 16 likes, eh? I think so. I think so. Michael Orr says he's talking to Everyday Algonaut. He says it's the PTP thing they are working on. Yes, they are working on that, and that's like another step towards decentralization. It's really good. You might be able to explain it better than me. He's a dev. I'm learning to code some Python. Oh, hey, I got a question. Everyday Algonaut, and maybe you can answer this question because so the big deal about going to pure Python is that you don't have to use WebAssembly. Well, because like when I talked about it, technically on ICP, you can use a number of different languages, including Python, but what I was told is that it's through WebAssembly, and so that's not the same as pure proof of stake or pure Python coding, right? So I was looking, I've been doing some Python stuff recently, and I was like, well, how do I get this on a website? Like, because I'm a newbie at all this. And it looked like one of the chief ways that you take your Python code and translate it into something on the web is you translate it through WebAssembly. So would most developers be doing that anyway? Or is that something totally different? I figured you would probably know more than anyone. Or like, is there another method that they get the Python code into a website for people to actually interact with and use? I was hoping you would know because I just don't know that stuff. Well, while I wait for this answer, yeah, I kind of want to do this. I think this would be a lot of fun. I don't know about the market maker thing because that looks complicated and scary. Everyday Algonaut says they are reducing the relays count because of the P2P, so I think they are on the route to launch it pretty soon. It sounded like it was coming really, really soon. I can't remember if I saw something from John Woods where he talked about it, but he said, I can't remember exactly what he said, but I remember getting the impression from reading it that it was like coming really soon. Everyday Algonaut says, I was one of the relay nodes runners and did run almost 10% of all of them, and now I was cut, so I hope it's going to P2P working well. Yeah, that's what it sounded like. In fact, maybe I can find that. Hold on. Okay, Everyday Algonaut says, I don't know how to run websites with Python, but the thing is you get generated client in JavaScript and can use it in React, Vue. Yeah, I guess well what I'm saying is like if you do everything in Python, right? But at some point it has to be on the web, right? Because like people aren't just going to go to GitHub and copy the Python and run it on their own computers or something, right? So if I code a smart contract in Python, doesn't that at some point have to get translated to WebAssembly to be in some kind of usable form? Like I'm not talking about running the whole website in Python, but I'm saying like to get your Python code onto the web, because that's how people are going to interact with it. Like don't you have to convert to WebAssembly, or maybe there's some other way to do it? I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out. I should just probably ask on Twitter. If anyone else knows, or I don't know if there's any devs in my audience besides Everyday Algonaut right now, but yeah, anyone that knows, feel free to weigh in. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to find. I think it was in here. Oh, yeah, here it is. He says, you said, he had said something about the foundation removing stake, which is good. Like, this is, he says, this marks an all time high for, oh, am I disconnected? So, this is an all time high for Algorand's decentralization. Community led online stake is 20% of all Algorand in circulation. Anyway, he said, you said you will move to P2P in Q1. How's that going on? He said, good, should be in the next release. So that make me think really soon. Michael Orr says, Pyodide, a Python runtime that runs in the browser using WebAssembly. Aha. And he says, Python, a Python interpreter that compiles Python code to JavaScript so it can be run in the browser. Okay, so they might. And then Everyday Algonaut said if you run the website in React, you have the generated client which interacts directly with the blockchain. I see. Okay. That, I mean, it kind of makes sense, I guess. Yeah, I was just confused because I would see, because I was looking up at how I can, like, I've been playing around with Pygame and just for fun. It's like a hobby, you know. I'm not ever going to be like a serious dev or anything. I'm not smart enough to do that stuff, but it's fun to play. I enjoy playing around with it, and I've been making. I made the Game of Life on in Pygame, and then now I'm like going through a different tutorial. It's kind of more like here's all the parts, how they work, blah blah blah. But I was looking at, I'm like, well, how if I wanted to put this on the web or something, like if I want other people to be able to play this, how would I do it? And I just saw like the stuff I saw with my really quick search was you have to convert it to WebAssembly. So I thought, well, is it really pure Python if you have to convert it to WebAssembly anyway? I don't know, but I see the point. So there's like other ways to do it, like with Python, which is a Python interpreter that compiles Python code to JavaScript so it can be run in the browser. Interesting. So basically it has to be converted to something to run in the browser. Am I understanding that right? And then there's React. That's a whole nother thing. Yeah. I think I just don't understand enough about this. I'll have to read more. Is there a good, like, well, I should just go through the foundation. The foundation put together like these little mini lessons, and I really ought to, I think when I'm done, Everyday Algonaut says, well, Michael Orr says yes, so I guess I understand it somewhat. Everyday Algonaut says WebAssembly is only if you run the website from Python. You compile to WebAssembly, but it's not as good as having the TypeScript, Node.js, React, Vue app. Okay. Yeah, I got a lot more to learn on that stuff. I want to go through those little mini lessons. I got to find those again because I think that would be a big deal. All right, that's real fun. Yeah. If you guys don't know any other interesting sources, I keep doing that. Sorry. If you guys know other good sources of information on that stuff, it's kind of funny because like I feel like there's really good, and maybe I haven't looked in a while. Oops. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's okay. Never mind. I feel like there's really good information for each individual language, but there's not always good info for like the bigger picture, if that makes sense, like how all this stuff fits together. But I don't know. Maybe some people are just really good at figuring this stuff out. I don't know. All right. Well, that was a good show today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope everyone had fun out there today. Appreciate you guys all hanging out and just kind of exploring stuff. Like I said, I think we'll just have to see. It does look like, crypto went up as the stock market went up. I really do think they're correlated. I've heard Bitcoin also moves very strongly with M2. As you increase, it would kind of make sense because as you increase money supply, you'd want something to hedge against inflation. I don't know if it's that direct, but it does seem to correlate pretty well. Snail says, much love all. Yes, much love to you too, buddy. Thanks so much for everyone for joining in. And like Laura says, thank you. Have a great day. Oh, Xalgo's got a video. I'll have to watch that. He's got a couple videos. Maybe I should hang around for a little bit. I want to...
We need Greenland for...
Oh, we got Trump coming on. Maybe we should watch this, huh? All right, hold on. I'm going to watch the first one. We got some time. Why not? Change my mind.
National security and even international security, and I said then Canada should be a 51st state.
Tariffs might be dominating the headlines this month, but Trump is cooking up something even crazier. Soon, the new T word will be territory. Yep, Trump's talk of annexing allied countries is getting louder, and the world is in a shambles over it. But he's...
Yeah, by the way, I think the odds of that happening are like 0 to a slim to none, and I think none is packing its bags to head out of town. Personally, I just don't think it's going to happen. I think it's probably some like negotiating strategy on his part. That's usually the case.
Isn't he just saying stuff again? What would even be the point, and why those countries? It's about time we got to the bottom of this. My name is Guy. Let's get some answers. It's a miracle. Less than 50 days into his new term, President Trump has already healed a fractured society. After being torn apart by culture wars, class wars, and party political divisions, few believed it could be done. But Trump has united the country like never before. I mean, it's not his country, it's Canada, and the nation is only united in opposition to his unwanted advances. But hey, let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. The Canadians are rallying like never before. Hallelujah. Now, when it was reported last November that Trump had suggested to the then Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau at a private dinner that he simply give Canada to the United States,
What I'd like to see, Canada become our 51st state.
the whole world had a good old chuckle. Heck, doesn't he just say the darndest things? Trudeau later revealed how he himself had a good laugh at the time. He told MSNBC that he played along and suggested swapping some of Canada's territory for California or Hawaii. President Trump reportedly didn't see the funny side of that one, but, no harm done. Now, Trump is prone to hyperbole, but he's also famously unpredictable. His public statements and policy pledges often depart from established norms so drastically that the world is left wondering whether or not they should be interpreted literally. Trump...
All right, this is really long just to wrap up what's already happened. I'm going to skip ahead to the crypto part.
Compared to 2 months ago when nobody was talking about independence, now everybody's talking about it. If Trump keeps up his...
By the way, that's also not going to happen. A new party got put into power, and they are they're pro getting away from Denmark. I didn't even know that before all this, I didn't even know that Denmark owned Canada or owned Greenland, or that it was a territory of Greenland or of Denmark or whatever. I didn't even know about that. And the new party wants to get away from Greenland, but they don't want to get away. They don't want to become part of the US. So there's really, what was it like? I think there was like 10% support for becoming part of the US. So yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
His threats, he'll have united 2 whole nations, albeit one lacking statehood, like few modern leaders could ever dream of doing. It's a remarkable, if self-defeating, accomplishment. If Trump was a details guy, he'd do well to put the US AID band back together again. That would give the CIA the plausible deniability it needs to get the wheels of regime change spinning once more, just like in the good old days. But there he goes again, saying the quiet part out loud. Man, he just says the darndest things. Anyway, at the moment, the possibility of the US annexing Canada or Greenland seems remote. But like I said, Trump is unpredictable and tends to defy norms. So let's just imagine that the US does somehow annex one or both. What on earth will this do to the markets? Well, in any case, annexation will be enforced against the wishes of the annexed population, and this will be a major turning point in world history. So, until the dust settles on a new international order, risk assets would probably be absolutely slaughtered. If you thought the market reacted poorly to the crypto summit, the strategic Bitcoin reserve, and all of the rest of the bullish Trump catalysts, you ain't seen nothing yet. Territorial takeovers will make tariffs look tepid by comparison.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe it'll be the opposite. I mean, we saw when things were at their worst and we had Gary Gensler in charge, we actually had like a big run up. So this is really kind of silly. Like, I think he's just wanted an excuse to talk about Trump. Honestly, I don't think it's a very good video. What's the other one? If it's just more of this, I'm like, oh, it's the same one. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand what the point of that video was. It's like, yeah, Trump is doing crazy things and that'll probably be bad for the market. I don't know. I needed 20 minutes for that. Sorry, I didn't think that was a very good video. Okay, now we're officially going to go. So thanks so much, guys. Hope you're all doing well out there. Have a good day, and I will see